Hello, I'm Bill LuMaye, and thank you for watching Community Matters. We hope you'll continue to watch as we discuss issues facing our community and provide you with the resources and information needed to find solutions. Adapted sports are not just about inclusion. They're great ways to stay active and social no matter what your ability level may be. We're joined by NC Adapted Sports today to discuss the benefits of the programs they offer. And Wes is with us. Wes, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I guess I'll start by asking you a little bit about yourself. Can you give us some background?
I've always been active in sports, even when I was young. And before my amputation, I was active. And then after my amputation, I still want to be active, and my mom basically didn't let me retreat. So got less worried about what I could not do, more focused what I can do. And she literally sent me off to an outdoor adventure camp 9 months after my amputation for me to figure it out. So I was up in the mountains, hiking in the Pisgah Forest and canoeing on streams, and had to figure out how I was going to adapt to my new life and path to stay an active lifestyle. And that push there led to me constantly trying to find new things to do and challenge myself. It's like kind of my friends were more perspective of what can Wes do? How can we make it happen? And so whether it was bodyboarding or surfing or water skiing, eventually snow skiing, kayaking, all that kind of came in to do what can I, not focus on what I can't do, but what I can do. And then how can I adapt that particular sport activity so I can participate in it, was more of the focus kind of thing. That what got me into adaptive sports in general, and just how it made me feel internally as far as being able to express myself through sport, but the runner's high, so to speak, being active on a regular basis was something that I really enjoyed.
Well, when you got involved in this adapted sports program, you created this, didn't you? Give me a background on that. I mean, how did this all come to be?
So my co-founder and I, we were, I think, when the product of COVID, we were riding the greenways a lot to get outside and get active. Got bored of the greenways, started hitting some mountain bike trails at Crabtree Park, and then realized the barriers on the trails were the bridges that we couldn't get across our adapted cycles. And so that kind of started the idea of let's start a nonprofit to help make outdoor recreation accessible. And so April 1st, we started out, April 1st, 2022. Mid-May, we had our RS 501c3 status, and we really focused on making things accessible first before we started the programming. And then once we got the trails accessible, we had a ribbon cutting at Crabtree in August 2023. We already started acquiring equipment and started getting riders on the trails. And so my late co-founder and I kind of built it from there. And as we built that, then we got approached to do wheelchair basketball, and then we got approached to do kayaking, and then we're now about to start bocce as well. And then I partnered with a friend of mine out of Atlanta who does catless sports to bring adaptive climbing to the Triangle area as well. So creating opportunities for people to do it. And that was the main goal for us, to create a community of athletes who support and advocate each other to live an active lifestyle that's inclusive and equitable as well.
Well, I know a lot of people in your position, and I'm sure a lot of people have been in your position, and they've focused on what they couldn't do and not what they could do. I'm guessing that's the mission that you have.
That's the mission. Like when I was at UNC, a word that stuck me in one of my psychology classes that I took was self-actualization, which was being aware of your limitations, but not letting them be what hold you back. Focus on your strength and move forward on there. I'm not going to run like I ran before my amputation. I'm not going to play soccer like I played before my amputation. My swimming is not the same as it was before my amputation. So how can I adapt my lifestyle to my new path, what I've been given? And so I am living. I'd rather live than sulk on what I can't do, more focused on what I can do. And that's what we try to get through our athletes, to realize that everybody has barriers, and people with disabilities obviously have more barriers than people who are able-bodied. But there are tools now to allow you to become more active in outdoors, swimming, et cetera from there. It's just really educating people on the opportunity that exists and getting through the mental barriers that's possible.
Well, how do you, I guess, fund this? How did you get from day one to where you are today? Because you have a lot of folks taking advantage of this now, and I know everything costs money. How do you do it?
We applied for our first grant 3 months into our existence. Mm-hmm. I was taking it as more of a kind of a practice approach to start the grant writing process, that we're going to start funding our programs. And we got the grant from Dominion Energy, $10,000 for a bike and $10,000 for trail rehab. And so we had our first bike within a year of our existence, and then the rest of it went to go to the trail. So LuMaye's been community and friends and family. Some corporations have helped out as well to help fund it. We've taken a model of trying to create community support as well, because this is a community effort. It's just not me on my podium or soapbox going, we got to have adaptive sports. The community needs to want to have the adaptive sports, and that need leads to the funding to it as well. We have focused on, for other funding though, we do focus on grants on getting equipment. The equipment is very expensive. We just bought a $13,000 recumbent trike for people with disabilities. Our hand cycles cost $13,000 out of the box.
Wow.
So those are things there we knew were expensive, and we want to eliminate that barrier. So we use the grants to pretty much fund our equipment. And most grants are very specific on that anyway. They'll fund equipment, rarely they'll fund operations. So our community support helps fund our operations, and we would love to have more corporate sponsorships involved in the program to invest in this initiative. That's something we're continuing to work on as well. Because yes, we are beginning to burst out of the seams. We have a cycling clinic on Friday. At the beginning of the week, it was 3, and I have 7 riders signed up, and I know I have a couple more coming. So it's a good thing to have.
Yes.
But it definitely presents some challenges.
All right, awesome. Wes, thank you. And don't you go anywhere, because we got more to talk about when we come back. Well, today we're talking about adapted sports programs, and we're joined by NC Adapted Sports to discuss the benefits of the programs they offer. And Wes is with us. We have folks that are watching, and I know you have Adapted Sports Day coming up.
Yep.
What is that all about? It sounds like it'd be a great opportunity for folks who may be interested to acquaint themselves with what's going on.
Yeah, that came out of an idea where I've been to many like table events where we're there and we meet. Sometimes meet future athletes, but I meet more for me, it's more of networking other organizations that serve our population in a different way. And I realized that it'd be something to catch to bring the families and the potential future athletes in a one-stop shop where they can try out on April 18th. They can try out 9 sports on one day. From the adaptive climbing, cycling, sitting volleyball, bocce, wheelchair basketball, kayaking, archery, and adapted fishing in a one-stop shop. And they also learn about other resources at the same time as well. So kind of an all-inclusive situation. We get the families involved as well, and get the families to be part of the journey of their loved ones who have disability. But we really wanted something to get an all-inclusive situation, but also on the volunteer side, we have therapists come and volunteer, let the therapists come in and get involved as well so they can see what the sports do for the kids and their patients.
What's it like for you? You know personally what it's like for you, but to have all these other individuals now have this opportunity, it's life-changing, is it not? I mean, in so many different ways, from a fun aspect, but also from a character standpoint.
Yeah, when you have some of our newer athletes, I have one who's a little over a year out of breaking her neck, C4, C5, quadriplegia. And I remember the first time we had her at Umstead Park, and we had her riding down the trail, and she got the bike up about 14 miles per hour. The glow on her face of feeling the wind in her face again, seeing the potential, what she can do with this particular piece of equipment, was eye-opening for me, because I take for granted my ability. And so seeing someone who had the ability far more impaired than I find joy in that is undescribable. You have to kind of experience it. And then last week we had a youth come from Greenville, South Carolina, And Mom wasn't quite sure about things, but I said, yeah, we got wheelchair basketball. We got cycling on Friday. Come try the cycling on Friday and come to wheelchair basketball on Saturday. And so he did cycling and then put on the bike and took off. And so his mom afterwards said, my son has not smiled like this in a long time. So those kind of things there that when people find new hope and new passion, they can stay, we help them see that path forward and that they do have a place in society and they could be included in activities everybody is included in. That brings a whole sense of purpose. I mean, I take for granted my circles of friends in Wilmington were very supportive in keeping me included. That's not the case for everybody else with a disability. So these programs, when you see the light click on, that they now have a path, they find a new joy, they get the runner's high, and they feel the wind in their face, the dirt in their face if they're doing off-road cycling, or they're on the water and they get back into a creek that they never thought to get back into before, and they're completely immersed in nature. That's something it's better described, being experienced it, seeing it. I can't give it justice putting in words what these athletes get out of it.
Well, Wes, I've heard you talk about, life-changing events with the individuals that come and take part in this, but how do you avoid those individuals becoming totally dependent on what it is you do and not go out and have a life and do what they want to do? How does that work?
First, we have to realize they're part of the journey. And so for us, I don't want athletes to be solely dependent on NCAS to have an active lifestyle. I want them involved as much as possible, but we also work with them. There are grants out there that can help them purchase their own equipment. And so we'll help them find their own equipment, give them advice on the best equipment, what they're trying to do. And they'll get the equipment, and that way for instance, we have one athlete, Twan, who we helped him get a bike. He rides outside of our programming, but he also comes to every one of our programs to ride a bike as well. I don't want a situation where the athletes are solely dependent on an active lifestyle, on the amount of clinics they can attend. It's not, that's a random opportunity versus a lifestyle change. Like, I want Twan to be able to ride, get on his bike, get out of his house, get on his bike and go ride a greenway for miles and come back, and then come to a program and enjoy the community of other adapted athletes. And so that was a thing where also my parents were able to support what I did. And so for us, it's trying to find ways to help support the athletes, let them know about resources that are out there to help fund equipment, to get past the financial barrier of it as well. And part of that also, even when Tony and I co-founded the nonprofit, was we knew we also needed to fill that gap in the triangle as well. So we actually created a local endowment that we're growing that will eventually start giving out local grants to help subsidize the cost of equipment for middle-class athletes that are involved in our programming. We know it's expensive. Even if someone who's in middle class, $8,000, $10,000 bike's a lot of money for a bike, when you may be spending $5,000 or $6,000 on a J chair. So we want to eliminate part of that barrier to get them involved as much as possible. And then on top of that, is by doing that, we start creating a more independence in the athlete as well. As much independence we can for a particular athlete's ability. And that's their first ride is we're teaching them, can they for cycling, can they stop the bike? Can they steer the bike? Can they change gears? And then as they get into that, we start building their skill up from there to help them become more independent as they ride, but also tackle on longer ride or more technical trails so that they can have a different experience from riding. Some athletes are fine just riding the greenway, and we're 100% fine with that. Some athletes want a greenway ride and they want a mountain bike ride. We'll help them find those skills as well to get them there. And it's about cultivating their potential, what they want to do. Even with some of our local partners, we've also found ways to get our athletes integrated into larger events. I don't want our ability to be isolated in a silo. I want the community to see what these athletes' potential are. And so we worked with Oak City Cycling, also Town of Cary, Wake County Parks and Rec, Garner, et cetera, from there. And so at Oak City Cycling, we have actually incorporated an adapted category into their cyclocross races in the fall. So we're riding the same course that the able-bodied athletes are. There may be some modifications on certain features that our riders can't get off bike and jump over an obstacle. So we bypass those features, but they're essentially riding the same course, same weather, same mud, same dirt. And so it's a way for the population to see what our athletes can do, but start normalizing disability so that there's no misperception of what can happen. You give us the right tools, we can succeed really well. If we don't have the right tools, then it can be very difficult. And that's what we try to do as an organization, provide them the tools to be successful in life. And we know that even with our youth athletes, as they get more independent and more confident, that floods over into their daily life, into school life and stuff like that. We want our athletes to roll, walk, crutch, and limp into a room with a presence. That if they come into a room, the first thing you want to do is, I need to get to know that person. Like, that's the first thing I talk to. And it breaks down the intimidation of they have a disability, I'm scared to talk to them. They come to the room going, oh, that's the one, they have some cool stories. I need to go talk to them and figure out who they are.
That's cool. Plus you help people like me who don't know how to kayak.
Yeah.
The family members get involved as well.
It's an addictive sport.
It is.
You know, 5 or 6 boats in my garage, my wife would
Good for you.
think differently, so.
It's amazing, man. What you're doing is fantastic. For folks who want more info, you have a website?
Yeah, ncadaptedsports.org.
Perfect.
That has all the sports on there as well, has our schedule, program schedule on it as well. And then also, if you're looking to volunteer to make an impact in someone's life, there's a whole list of our volunteer opportunities as well to help with our program, because we definitely depend on volunteers to make the program successful. And then of course, you can always contact me through the website as well. I have people contacting me on a regular basis about questions about equipment or what's the opportunity or potential they can do to get active or get involved with the organization.
Wes, thank you. Thank you for sharing.